many times on the Hill. The issue is legalizing marijuana. And the question is, will Congress finally pass legislation to federally legalize weed?
Political revolution of the millennials.
Welcome to Political Playlist.
All right. Are we ready, guys?
Happy Hour.
Happy hour.
We fucked that up so bad.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Political Playlist Happy Hour. I'm Michael Kristoff.
I'm Anna Muskie-Goldwyn.
And your favorite, Anthony Barquette.
No,
That's
no
great.
one's favorite.
That's great. He knew we were coming to him for that. How we doing here, gang? What are we drinking?
I'm drinking I'm always drinking a martini, I feel like. So
Yeah,
this time's a dirty martini.
you're very predictable.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not drinking, but in line with the theme.
Oh, wow.
We're in California. It's legal.
We're just being told by our legal team that we will edit this out. How long does it take to kick in there?
I don't know.
Wow.
We'll call you after.
I do. I think it'll probably take like 20 minutes.
So by the time we get to the end of this, you're going to be high as a kite.
Well, like the video, people should obviously understand that the video is edited and we record for much longer. So like at some point in some part of this video,
And you wanted to keep this one short, huh?
Interesting.
I know, I guess I should have eaten it earlier, but that would have ruined the dramatic effect.
Wow. Well, Anthony, you know that if you want good peaches, you go to Georgia. And clearly Anna knows that if you want good weed, you come to California. Am I right, Jay Beebs? Because today we're talking about Chiba Chiba Green, that good kush. And by the way, this is not your daddy's reefer. No. This is the good medicinal stuff. The stuff that Woody Harrelson's been smoking for years. And Congress is like, hey, Wood, buddy, we want some of that. And he was like, well, pull up some legislation, bro. And they were like, you know what? We're going to do that. So don't you know they did. This is kind of a big deal. Congress just passed some weed legislation.
The House, not Congress.
The House, technically, is the
Congress.
House, right?
Yeah.
We still have
Another
that
half
old
of
Mitch in the Senate to get by with this. So before we kind of talk about who's cool and who's a narc, let's just kind of understand what this bill is. Anna, what does this bill potentially do if passed?
So the bill is called the MORE Act. Okay. And what it does is most importantly, whatever way you slice it, what the biggest thing it does is federally legalize marijuana. It
should have named it the Munchie Bill or something like that. But
we would have got more votes. So it would federally legalize marijuana, and it would eliminate criminal penalties for anyone who distributes or possesses it. And it would have a 5% tax, which over 5 years would increase to an 8% tax. And the proceeds from that tax would go to helping communities that were harmed by the quote unquote war on drugs.
I think it also calls for like a 3-digit hotline that's available 24 hours for Munchie delivery. It's in partnership with Uber Eats. I'm pretty sure that was
I really thought you were serious for a second.
AOC pork belly right in there.
And Michael, asking for a friend, do you know, are they hiring?
I think they are. They are. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Tell your friend to reach out to hhs.gov/munchies.
He should call the hotline.
Yes. It's 420, by the way. That's the
hotline. I know. This is. I'm glad Anna did this subject after we just did orgies and drugs. So
we're going off the deep end here.
Yeah, we really are.
So I think what's interesting about this bill is that of our young leaders on our platform, a surprising little section was in favor of this bill, and perhaps a surprising section was not in favor of this bill. So, Anna, do you kind of want to walk us through who was actually in favor of this bill and what the sort of overall vote for it looked like?
So the overall vote was 220 to 204. So pretty much down the middle. Yeah. And all Democrats supported it except two. And all Republicans were against it except I think I want to say 4 or 5, 2 of whom were on our platform. Matt Gaetz, which is pretty unsurprising because he's been kind of at the forefront of medical marijuana legalization in Florida. I will note that there's a little bit of a scandal around his role in the Florida legalization process.
No. Him? A scandal?
And then the other Republican who voted for it was Brian Mast, which is kind of interesting, but also maybe not totally surprising. I feel like there's an element, he's a veteran. I think that there's a lot of research around marijuana helping veterans with PTSD and things like that. And I think also from an economic perspective, he feels like this is a smart move.
Interesting. Do you know who opposed the bill?
On the Democratic side?
Yeah.
It was Chris Pappas.
Oh,
which is actually quite surprising.
I disagree that it's surprising. And can I tell you why I think?
Sure.
Because he comes from New Hampshire, which is ravaged by the opioid epidemic. And there's speculation that the 2 Democratic senators who might not vote for this in the Senate are Senator Shaheen from New Hampshire and also Senator Manchin from West Virginia, which are 2 states that have had a lot of issues with the opioid epidemic. Obviously, marijuana and opioids are different, but I think in those states, there's a lot of emotion, as there should be, in voters around any kind of, legalization of drugs.
And obviously there's a very open smoke 'em if you got 'em on Joe Manchin's boat. So
I've gone back and forth on legalization of marijuana.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think it's because the world is in such a weird place, and I might be attributing it to people having access to marijuana. Now, I know it's a weird argument, but when we did grow up, it was sort of
oh my God.
It was evil, right? Weed was evil. Maybe that was more of a high school thing, but what I'm trying to understand. What?
Dare.
Okay.
No, like the DARE program, remember?
Oh, no.
You don't remember DARE?
DARE? What?
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. Oh my God.
DARE was that was the don't do drugs. The whole thing.
Anthony.
Oh,
yeah, bro.
Okay. Well, I think actually, honestly, saying just say no was one of the dumbest things ever done in the US. But Anna said that was interesting to me here was the profits or money that was going to states would go to underserved communities that were hurt by the drug trade or had
the war on, mainly the war on drugs.
Yeah. And that scares me because I have no idea how that money will be allocated.
Right.
And honestly, what I would prefer for these bills, any money that is made through the states, 75% of it goes to paying for education.
Well, by the way, I think that we will have to follow up on this if it continues, because I think that education is a part of that allocation in these communities. Like, I think that when you talk about, look, and maybe I'm just speaking out of my ass here, but I do feel like when you talk about helping a community that has been hit by the war on drugs, I feel like one of the direct repercussions of that was failing schools and low attendance and maybe people not having the support that they needed through their education. So I would imagine, and I completely agree with your sort of skepticism, because I think that governments are never that great at allocating money, as we all witnessed, I think, firsthand during COVID. But I do think that education is up there on how these funds would be distributed, mainly because I think education is the staple of any community.
I think what's interesting about Brian Mast is, he's a veteran. He's very big on veteran legislation. He himself is actually an amputee.
Is a double amputee, yeah.
Double amputee, Purple Heart winner. This guy's the real deal. And I feel like he has been very, shall we say, on the forefront from a legislative and supportive standpoint of these various, medicinal uses of, marijuana and other things to treat PTSD, to help, veteran in that kind of veteran rehabilitation arena. And so, perhaps that is the thing that is maybe driving his yes vote to that.
Perhaps. Yeah. I wish he would say that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, it frustrates me. And I'm not saying this is a Democrat or a Republican thing. I think it happens all the time. And I think it's quite frustrating that we're living in a system where someone votes because they really believe that something is the right vote, and it's bad press. You know, I was looking through Brian Mast's Twitter, seeing if he had tweeted about this.
He didn't
tweet about it. And his whole Twitter was about Biden, you know.
Oh, right. No, that's what I mean. He didn't.
Yeah, he didn't. Yes,
right.
Exactly.
What really infuriates me is, Anna, do you know there's been a variety of marijuana bills introduced by both sides?
There have been bills that have passed the House and then not made it, which, by the way, might be the fate of this bill, but I think it's still worth talking about because we had some interesting players from the political playlist bunch.
But this is what bothers me is we've had some really interesting bills pass on legalizing marijuana. And if I was president again, and honestly, the world could be...
I need a refill.
The world might be a lot better. But like, why do we not say the month...
We'll return to this episode.
Let's set a schedule here. November is going to be dedicated to two issues: marijuana and healthcare. And by the way, we're going to debate those bills. You guys got to come together and figure out if there's 10 marijuana bills. Great. Once again, Anthony Barquette, who's president, is going to lock you in the House until you guys pick one to bring to my desk.